Hey folks, what's happening? This is DJ Rockin' Rob, and I'm here today to talk about gobos. Print-at-home gobos, that is. So, print-at-home gobos is an amazing advancement in gobo technology, or freedom, I should say. It's amazingly freeing. This is a small collection of my gobos that I've created so far, and there's a lot of lessons learned here. A lot learned the hard way, and a lot learned the fun way. So let's talk about some of these, right? Printed home gobos, lessons learned. Number one, viewable area. Gobo size and viewable size are two different measurements. Yeah, let's take a look at this one right here. This is a wonderfully good-looking gobo, don't you think? I mean, forget about the little line right there. But it just looks nice. But when up on the wall, this is what it looked like. So there you can see the gobo, and oh, what's that? We're cutting off some of the gobo. Look at that. It's right at near the apex of the curve. It's cutting off part of the T, and the same thing on the bottom. So here's the gobo. It's coming in right here, cutting out right there. So it took an amazing amount of space. We're just right out of the gobo. You got to know your viewable size. So this particular gobo is 26 millimeters across, and the viewable size is 24. Yeah, that was rough. Here's another one. This I had a lot of fun with this gobo because originally I had created this one, but as you might have seen in my conclusion to the Print at Home video series, that this was a mistake, and thank goodness I caught it. This was the one that we actually projected up on the wall. Take a look at that one. There it is back in the background, and it's just cutting off to barely touch right there, and a little bit in the Z, right? So just a little bit in the Z and a little bit right there. That's where the 24 millimeter comes into play. What a great party that was. All right. Lessons learned number 2. Choose a good font. Just because it looks good on the computer doesn't necessarily mean it'll look good on the floor or the wall. Now this funny story is I made 3 distinctly different gobos for a client and let them choose. Which one do you like? Which one do you want? And this is what they decided. Another gobo I made for them was this one. Not quite distinctly different, but just a little bit that I really enjoyed this one. But they wanted this one. This is what they chose, and okay, you're the client, you're the boss. Let's see what it looks like up on the wall. That's what it looked like on the wall. Hideous. Now it is daylight, and they have the house lights up, but that brick just ate up the gobo. And look at that font right there. Let's look at the next picture. Crazy. Now that's the American DJ 10-watt gobo projector. I do believe that if that projector was a little bit more powerful, then maybe the bad font could have pulled itself out. But as it was, that didn't quite work out. So this font has a much thicker leading edge into the letters. So I really think that would have done nicely, as opposed to this one. It's such a thin line, you know. It was crazy. Lessons learned number 3. Know what kind of surface you're projecting onto. You know, that picture is so fantastic. It works. Know the surface. This brick just ate up the gobo. It absorbed the light. Whereas if we were using a white area, look at that. That is a solid white sheet hanging in front of a blue curtain. So that worked out pretty nicely, except for the drapes hanging down. If those drapes hanging down weren't there, then whew, it would have been awesome. Here's another example of a good wall. Nice solid color, you know, not too much texture. That worked out pretty nice. But at the same time, in that same exact room, oh, I don't have the picture. Let's see, let's do it here. I do have that picture. Here it is. This is where we originally wanted it, but that pleated curtain really hurt the gobo itself, and eventually we decided to move it to right there. Worked out so much better, so much smoother. You know, that was really great. Gave us some distance, which means we got some more some bigger stuff, bigger gobo. Lessons learned number 4. KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Depending on how big your final projection is or can be, complicated patterns have a hard time in small places. Let's take this this gobo for example. In this room, from the floor to the ceiling is something like 25 feet. It is a massive wall. And because we were shooting so far across the room, that gobo was awesome. It was wonderful. That gobo was great. But we also shot 180 degrees off of that from the same location. So there it is, big and pretty. Here it is, big and pretty. And then 180 degrees out, boom, it's so small. And then you can see the wonderful bleed out that my particular printing process. Again, know your surface. This is a little outsized beam of some kind, and it cut right into the gobo. So if you were standing on the far right of the room, you saw a broken gobo. If you're standing on the far left, it worked. If you're looking straight on, this is what it looks like. But size matters, or distance matters. Here's that same room from the same position with a different gobo. Now here you can also see where the viewable angle cut into the gobo a bit. It was before I made safety margins. So those are the 4 key points that I wanted to point out. Now, print at home gobos. It's not perfect. In fact, some might argue it sucks. I don't argue that. I kind of like it. But I can't disagree with their arguments. Look at this this gray area, this bleed through, because the black is not actually black. Because of the printer that I use, it's a single pass toner or laser. Laser would probably do the same thing, and the black is just not black enough. Now with inkjet, I honestly believe that it would absolutely black it out. It's just I haven't physically tested it myself, so I can't really speak about it. So here you can see the bleed out on both of them. This bright one is the Stellar 60 at approximately 6 feet away, and this dimmer one is the American DJ 10 watt gobo projector at approximately the same distance. Amazing bright difference, but nice size difference too. Now, the bleed out can cause problems. This is a nice shot of the checker pattern that I mentioned before. But if you add a little bit of color to the gobo, it comes out fine. It's amazing what a little bit of color can do. And the same thing here. You can barely see the bleed out. With that green filter, it looks wonderful. And back to this one. You can see the bleed out, but if we change the color a little bit, you can't see the bleed out at all. Now, adding color to your gobo is also going to cut down the power of your gobo. Can't really do anything about that. So, now that we talked about the lessons learned, let's talk about what we can do with gobos. This gobo right here, this fantastic creation, was not mine. I did make it, but the bride sent me the invitation. I put it in my scanner. I scanned it. Then in Photoshop, I changed the colors, reversed it, inverted the colors, and then removed what I didn't want. It was wonderful. So this invitation then became the gobo. It was so simple. It took me like 10 minutes because I've been doing this a little while. It gets easier. Next we have this awesome little vase. This picture was taken with the cell phone in my florist's shop, right? He's like, hey, can you find me a pattern like this? He really likes the pattern. So I just took that picture, erased what I didn't want, and made this fantastic little pattern out of it. It was easy. Photoshop is an amazing, amazing tool that allows you to work with layers. You can move everything. This gobo, four layers. Amy is one, the ampersand is another one, Zach is the third layer, and the big D is the final layer. I can position them any which way I want. A lot of people think that you're just stuck to the text dialog box, right? This one here, 5 layers. Each decoration is its own layer, so I could position it perfectly, and then each letter is its own layer, so that I can move it in tightly. Like, this is a really good example of moving it in tightly. I positioned that A really perfectly under the dip of the Z. That was awesome. This was, I took a graphic from a website, and this one took me a long time because the fade was reversed. I had to do a lot of tricks with this one, and then a lot of editing because, oh geez, I spent a lot of time on that gobo. Whereas with this one, super easy. Oh my goodness. I found the font that I wanted, I typed it, I rotated it, and done. That Sweet 16 turned out really nice. It looks good. There's the floral pattern again. Now, I took a little bit of creative freedom and stretched it. My florist really enjoyed the stretch look. All right, enough talking about these. Let's get into some work. So let's make some gobos.